Welcome back. We've been talking with intuitive spiritual life coach, energy healing practitioner, and channeler Jennifer Passavant. In the first segment, Jennifer talked with us about her angel and ascended master guides, as well as her experience with channeling energy. For this next segment, I wanted to talk to Jennifer about unity consciousness, which is the first practice in the Law of One. Jennifer, can you explain to our viewers and listeners a little bit about what I understand is a pretty old concept and principle, the greater purpose, the two truths, and gnosis?
Mm-hmm. So unity consciousness is really the basis of the creative source being everything. So the creative source is omnipresent, which means the energy that makes up this is the creative source. The energy that makes up your computer, creative source energy. So the energy that makes up all things is the energetic consciousness of the creative source. So that means that you and I are one. And so whatever I do to you, I'm doing to myself. And so it's becoming aware of the fact that everything and everyone, seen and unseen in all of existence, is one. And that's the energy of the creative source. So that's really what unity consciousness is having that understanding, that conscious awareness of that.
Wow, that's really profound. And I think in my personal studies, I've always known, or it resonates, that we are all one. But when you put it into perspective like that, what I do to you, I'm doing to myself, it gives you pause for concern, because I think sometimes we're not even so great to ourselves. So when we're really not great to other people, it's more not knowing that we are all connected. That's really profound.
Yeah. And on top of that, and like you touched on, when you're not great to yourself, it's not just not being great to then you as well, but it's also not being great to the creative source, because we are the creative source, just as anything made of energy, which is everything, is the creative source. So whatever you do to another, you're also doing to the creative source.
Wow. Okay, let that sink in, everybody. And so, yeah, I know. So when you touch base on that, and we talk about duality, is this like the duality in cosmology then, or?
Very, very much, yes. And so that's kind of where we're the microcosm of the macrocosm, and so there's duality in literally everything, but the duality is a part of the realm that's an illusory realm that was created so that the creative source could know him, herself, as being a creative source. And the only way the creative source could know itself, which is because the creative source exists in a realm that is absolute. It is absolute light. It is absolute love. But in order to know itself, it had to have the opposite with which to compare. So the creative source created a realm that was of varying degrees of density, varying degrees of polar opposites. So you've got hot, cold, up, down, left, right, masculine, feminine, positive, negative, good, bad, or I shouldn't say good, bad, because that's subjective, but positive, negative. You've got positive, dark, and negative, dark. You've got positive light and negative light. Mm-hmm. It's all polarities, but it's also that the creative source could have a whole vast opportunity, or all these opportunities between even with the gray areas in between, through which and with which to experience him or herself as the creative source, which I realize is a bit of it's a lot to take in, but
it is, but it's so profound. I mean, it's dense, but it's necessary to know this. So
and so what we're experiencing, though it's an illusory realm that's kind of a holographic projection from our higher consciousness, which is the creative source, that was designed to feel very real, and then have us incarnate, forgetting that we are manifestations or incarnations, the individuations of the divine source, in order to remember that we are individuations of the divine source.
Wow. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So for many spiritualists, including myself, that believe in reincarnation, you've studied and you have experience with souls who incarnate. And can you speak to this subject? I think it remains a little bit touchy to Westerners. Obviously, Easterners, this is just ingrained, it's just absolutely what they believe in and they know to their core.
Mhm.
So could you just tell us a little bit about your experience working with or knowing about souls that incarnate or reincarnation? And I guess I wanted to piggyback on that is, do you know how many times you've incarnated here to Earth? No.
No. Many times, but so have a lot of people. And I almost hate to talk about it. And here's why. People like to compare themselves to others and do so on a hierarchy. So they kind of look at it as the more lives you've lived, the more highly evolved you are, which means you're more spiritually evolved, which means you're better. And I don't like to put in that kind of hierarchy or categorization because we're all equal. We are all one. We are all the same being. There is no difference. And so I don't know how many. I know it's a lot. I know of many of them. I'm only made aware of the ones that I need to know in terms of the knowledge that I need to utilize from those lives in this one.
Wow.
I hope that helps.
It does. It does. And I'm actually aware of a few, not many. I know I've lived many lives, and there's only a handful that that I've known about since a very early age that still resonate with me today. Like there's certain things, and this will pop up of who I was in a past life, and some of them weren't so great. But again, I mean, and I like that you spoke to the point where it's not a competition, so to speak. You know,
Right.
you've had one soul that came here for one incarnation, or many, and it doesn't mean that anybody is more evolved than the other. So
Correct.
I think that's
Absolutely.
great. You belong to a lot of metaphysical organizations such as the International Healing Association and the American Institute of Naturopathic Medicine. I was hoping that you could speak a little bit about these different types of groups, especially why for you as a metaphysical practitioner that these are important and kind of what you can take away from joining these organizations.
Sure. I guess it wasn't so much important, so much as I felt like it would comfort people, bring some level of comfort to potential clients so that they could see that I was a member of all of these organizations and feel like I knew what I was doing. But at the same time, at no point do I feel like a practitioner or a healer needs to prove themselves to anyone, because somebody's going to decide that you are a load of crap just because they've decided it. No matter, and you could be a member of every organization known to man, they're still going to be like, I still think you're a load of crap because you do this woo-woo stuff.
Right.
Okay, you do you. That's all right, because there's going to be somebody over here who sees value in it. So it was originally to bring, like I said, bring comfort to clients, but I don't feel like it's absolutely necessary. So I don't want people to feel obligated to join organizations, but if they feel that it would bring potential clients a sense of comfort, I think it's a really great choice.
I do think that there's a sense of credence in having going through the schooling or having the educational background that allows you to join a professional organization. But I also think that some of the resources that these professional organizations offer, continuing education or coursework or whatever it may be, or even just for somebody to learn a new modality, I think that's also important. So
yeah, absolutely.
I think that's great. So, okay. So given the current situation that we have going on right now with the pandemic going around in the world, and you and I have talked about that despite so many people dying and people being sick, that there's a silver lining in all of this chaos. Do you have any messages from your guides on how we can navigate through this time? And have they given you any insight on the positives or just really how we're going to arise from all of this?
Oh gosh, yes. So there's a lot to wade through with this, because this experience is very multifaceted and provides a lot of opportunities. So the first opportunity that it provides is it allows people to really face their fears. There's the fear of being alone, a fear of not having enough money, a fear of not having enough food, a fear of not having a place to live, a fear of death, a fear of not being able to see your loved ones. There's a lot of fear facing involved. And you have the choice of either getting yourself embroiled in it and kind of spinning in a vortex of fear and anxiety and what am I going to do, or the choice of saying, you know what, this is a challenging situation, but I'm going to go into this with a full faith and full trust that this is going to manifest into something more positive, and I'm going to allow myself to be guided by Source through this experience and trust that Source has got my back, and whatever I need, all of my needs will be met. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to try to control it. I'm not going to try to make things come to me. I'm just going to have faith. It's providing that opportunity for people to make that choice between fear and faith and trust, or fear and peace. It's also providing the opportunity for those who agreed before incarnating that this could be a choice to, or an opportunity to become non-physical and transition into non-physical, so that they could work and guide us on a higher realm and not be bound by time or space, which is why you're seeing so many transitions, because they are so much more able to help those who are incarnated when they're no longer bound by time and space. And so even though it's extremely challenging for those who are losing their loved ones, and I know how that feels, so my heart goes out to everyone who may have lost someone, it's also good to know that they are then going to be able to better have your back and the back of humanity based on where they're going to be. The other opportunity that this provides, and I'm sorry I'm going on, but like I said,
no. Please, this is fascinating. I'm so excited that you're able to share this with us.
It also provides us the opportunity to announce our sovereignty, to say, I am a sovereign being. I'm sovereign in my spirituality, I'm sovereign in my physicality, and I'm sovereign in my mental state. I am not going to consent to anything that violates my sovereignty on all of my levels. I've got me. I'm an all-powerful being of divine white light, and nothing and no one has power over me save that which I allow.
Wow. Thank you. That resonates, and I know it'll resonate with our viewers and our listeners, because this is the time for us to shine. It really is. That we are coming out of the ashes. We are going to be just so much more aware, and our energetic fields are going to be so much stronger, and that really resonates. So thank you so much for that. That's profound, and I appreciate that, because we need to hear these messages, and we need to know that we're going to be okay.
And this really is the time of the Great Awakening. I mean, that's apocalypse is Greek for removing the veil, and this is this is the year of 2020 vision. So we're really seeing the light and the dark in all of its as incarnations, as it's being brought to light. And we're really then being given the opportunity, now that we can see things more clearly, 2020 vision, to become awakened and then make choices that no longer allow the things that had been taking place to continue to take place.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. All right. Well, this wraps up our interview with Jennifer Passavant, and she's going to be ending this segment with, are you going to do a prayer or affirmation?
I'd actually like to do a prayer, if that's okay.
That'd be fantastic. So we'll get to that in one second. But Jennifer, I just wanted to thank you so much for your time and for talking with us here today, and especially your insight. It's been amazing. So this wraps up our interview, our very insightful interview with Jennifer Passavant. I hope you've thoroughly enjoyed what you've heard here today. And Jennifer's she's going to do a prayer for us to end out this segment in just a second. But if you'd like to reach Jennifer for either a session or to learn more about who she is and how she can work with you remotely, you can visit www.angelenergyhealing.net. And I'll also list that in this presentation, as well as her social media sites. So thank you so much, everybody, for being with us here today. Jennifer, go ahead and let's leave with this wonderful prayer that you have. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm going to close my eyes so I can really connect. I call on all of our divine aspects. I call on all of our spiritual entourages and all high vibrational beings of love and light from all realms, dimensions, and star systems. And I ask that you please hear this prayer. I ask and intend that we all get to know our own divine light and our own innate aspects of divinity. That we all come to understand that we are here to move the awakening forward. I ask and intend that we all recognize that we are all high vibrational beings. We are all powerful beings of divine white light. And nothing and no one has power over us save that which we allow. We are sovereign beings. We are sovereign in our bodies, in our minds, and in our souls. Oof. Sorry, that was a lot of energy that came through. May all of us be infused with the highest level of holy, healing, divine white light. And may we all be the pillars of light on this earth that we were born to be. May we be clearly and easily guided by divine source and our entourages and our higher aspects. And may we go forward and shine our inner divine light onto all those who have not yet been able to see the light within themselves. I ask that this be done in all ways, on all levels, throughout all directions of time and space, and throughout all lifetimes. Oof. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is.
Wow. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Sorry.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.